Hello, hello. Well, I'm just giving you an update video here today, really, because the weather has just been so flipping awful in the last few days that we've got something unusual. We're going to open the cubicles up tonight. I'm actually going to let the cows have the access to the cubicles because normally by now they're shut right out. But the thing is, they've had such a miserable time out in the fields with all this rain that last night I think they pretty well hunched up against the hedge because it was so grim and it was so blowy and horrible. So I'm going to give them the option. They might not necessarily go in there, but I'm going to give them the option because I think that's only fair. But let's go in the silage barn. We're going to see the cows in a minute and just see what state the ground is. But we're just going to... Part of the reason I want to go in the silage barn is to get out of the flipping wind. Right, well, I just thought I'd show you what I've been doing because... Oh, it's so blowy, isn't it? So, we'll go see the cows, but I thought I'd show you what I've been doing. Bit of painting on the silage barn. Bit unusual, perhaps. So we're behind on everything. So the maize isn't in the ground. Normally by now the maize would actually be in the ground, but there's no way we're going to get out and put the maize in now. Not this weekend. Probably next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's going to be a late harvest on that. Silage wise, this time last year we'd made our silage and this would be full of silage, but it's not. So we're kind of twiddling our thumbs. So what I've done, we've actually, look at this, we've put a coating of mastic, of bitumen paint on here and on this side to protect the clamp. The effluent tends to eat in. So I have made some video of that. We'll have a look at that now. I'll put that on now. You can see what we did with that. It's just basically to stop the concrete degrading any further because the effluent is quite acidic. So I'll show you what we did with that. And then after that, we'll go and have a look at the cows and just see the state of the fields, all right? So enjoy this and then we'll be back in a bit. You can see here a load of muck on the walls, and behind it, you can see the black bitumen showing through. Well, we painted these walls quite a few years back. Haven't done it for a while. Just purely to stop the concrete degrading. There you can see the concrete through it. Because effluent has a habit of eroding the walls. Okay, so I wetted this down again this morning. You saw me wetting it yesterday. And I've been working on the spade with it, just getting all the really chunky rubbish off, because let's face it, the more I can get off easily with the spade, the better, because if I'm blasting muck with a pressure washer, it's going to come back in my face, I think. So, pretty good, really. You can see here, a lot of the muck that was there yesterday is gone. Just got to push this out. So, I'm just going to go over a bit of it with a shovel again, but I think it won't be long before we get the pressure washer on it. Okay, so you might have seen me there pressure washing off. I let it dry out overnight. We can now have a look at what we've got. It's a lot more revealing once you take it away. Let the water drain away. It's still damp, look, but you can see the corrosion we've got here. Let's go along. This side I think is worse than the other one. Look at this. It's really been eating into the concrete. So I'm going to have to cement that. Actually, they've used flint. It's interesting, they've used flints in the cement. And they obviously don't dissolve like the concrete does. But you can see, look at that. Not so bad along here. And then a bit more corrosion there.
So here we are, here's some of the worst bits. I'm literally going to plop that in there. And if it stays for a year or two, in the meantime, I haven't got a lot of time to do this as well as I would like to. But you know what, if it stays in there a year, we'll bitumen over that. And then I think I'm going to have to revisit this with a kind of bit more of a proper job. Okay, so I am going to be painting the walls with this stuff. Bitumen paint, which is almost like a tar. This cost about 60 quid for this drug for 25 litres off the internet. And I've got myself a container and a knackered old brush. I always save my old knackered brushes because on the farm they're quite useful for other jobs like this where you really don't want a brand new nice brush. So we're going to paint some of that on there. Let me just get this over here and we'll see how we go. I don't think this would be ready to paint yet. It's going off, but we need another day on that, so I'll just paint round it. So you saw that? I got my lovely tar, look. Whoa, can you see that? It's like black pudding. Look at that. Whoa. So we're gonna just slap it on there. There's something very satisfying about painting, isn't there? And this is not painting really, it's more kind of slop it on. I'm just going to whack it on here, all over this, rubbing it in. This is a good brush to do this with because it's big and you can get it in, you just sort of rub it in the grooves with the thing as you go. But I can see I'm going to use a lot of this stuff because it is quite thick so it doesn't spread very far. I'm sure it's probably got a recommended coverage or something. It's interesting, I'm not sure really what bitumen paint is primarily meant to be for. I've used it before on corrugated iron sheets when they started going a little bit rusty, and we've got one shed which has got a roof on it that it's probably held together with the bitumen tar. Anyway, so we're going to do this. Let's have a look. It just acts as a seal. I'm being really slapdash with this because I'm trying to be quick rather than... It's not a garden fence and no one's going to see this, are they? Oh, sorry, you are seeing this. Okay, well we'll have a little look when I've finished, alright? There you go. I think that's it. Well, that's it for this side. Ooh, oh, tripping over everything. So I've done one side. I'll do the other one tomorrow. We'll have a look at the end. I'm just painting round, like I said I would, bits that I've cemented. We've got a line there which I'm going to have to revisit. I've done along there. That was didn't cement that bit. But there I've got to redo. This smells, do you know the smell of new tarmac? Oh, this smells like that. It's quite nice. I'm sure it's not good for you. It's probably not advisable to sniff a brush of bitumen, but ooh, I like that smell. Right, stay safe everyone. Ooh, I can't even pronounce the word now. No effect on me at all, this bitumen fumes. Stay safe, see you later. Crack on. Crack on. Right, well that was me doing that this week, painting the bitumen on. Let's go and have a look at the cows and see what they're up to. Ugh. They've just really made a muck of the field. Let's go and have a look.
So here we are, this is the entrance to the field they're grazing in at the moment. Look at this. They trekked through this. Some people might say keep putting tracks in, but you can't put tracks everywhere. Look, we're going to come on through. Look at this, the water's just pooling in the gateway. The ground is so wet, it won't go away. The water won't soak away. I'm just walking through this. This is unprecedented for mid-May. Look at it. And they're just churning up the field. They can't be helped. They've got to get in the field somehow to have access. But look at the state of it. But the interesting thing now, I'm going to zoom right down below the cows. We can see actually the lower fields. These aren't ours, these are our neighbours. They're actually flooded. Can you see that? Look at that. That is water sitting on the ground there. Now if it keeps up, the worry is the floods will actually go across to us. Right, so look at this. Let's walk on down. Look. The problem is they're really, look at the water. It's just not soaking away. It's just sat on the ground. You know, mid-May, I would not expect this to happen. I would not expect water to be sat on the ground. A couple of weeks ago, it was so dry that I was desperate for a bit of rain to get the grass to grow. Now we got too much rain and the grass still isn't really growing that well because it's flipping cold, as you well know. I'm just sort of showing you this, the impact the weather has on farming. Right, we're going to go and see the cows and I'll show you where they huddled last night. So normally they would eat this grass, right, I don't know if you can hear, normally they'd eat that down really tight, but because it's so wet, they're not interested in eating it really tight. And they've got plenty of grass. Here we go. So they are like lawnmowers. Go across here. Hello. There they are, there's the lawnmowers in action. It's stopped raining now, so they've actually started grazing again. So I don't know how well you can hear me. I've got a muffler thing on the camera, but I don't know how well that works. This is their last day in this field, because I'm leaving a strip of grass at the bottom because I'm going to let our heifers and our dry cows out on here. But they're in the shed at the top, because if I let them out in the top paddock, they'll try and get in with these. But, I'm just walking along. Oh, this is horrible. Walking along just to show you where they huddled last night. They want shelter cattle. It's not fair to put them in a paddock on their own. And I'm just going to show you, look, they're all, the ones that have already eaten, they are standing up near the hedge. Look, you see they stand making a mess of the ground. But look at this. So this is where last night they sheltered. And if you think that hedge is about cow height, there, they've all stood all the way along the hedge, just trying to get there, because the wind, look, you can see which way the wind blowing, that way. It always blows that way in this part of the world. They've just sheltered all the way up here. They trashed the ground a bit. It's mud, mud, mud. So, there you have it. Cows are still out, they're going to be in tonight. So that's just an update there. Look at this, the water. Look. Let's just go and update. The other factor that you might consider is we've had our bees. They are not going to be flying in this weather, and we've got peak blossom on all the trees and everything like that, apple trees. The bees are not going to be going for that. Look at the mess the cows have made here, look. They just sheltered under this tree at night. Look at that. Poor things. And in this corner, look, they've just come and sat there. This is probably the best corner for them to shelter under, because look, they can just get in by this pond. Lovely pond. There we go. The bees are just the other side of there. Right, Fingers crossed for better weather next week, ladies and gents. If we can get the maize in, that's my main priority. We need to get that in. That needs to be in the ground ASAP. And then silage as well. Right, crack on the best you can. The sun's out. My God, the sun's out. Wow, we got the sun. If the wind stops, it might be better. Oh my God, there's a duck. Look. Very quiet. It's not. There it goes. Wow. Hello, duck. I wonder whether it's got some chicks nearby or something. Hello, Mr. Duck. He's looking over towards the pond. Look, I mean, it's so wet down here. Look, I mean, not surprised it's landed there. He'd probably come and thought this is a flipping pond. Wow. Right, back for lunch.